In Insidious Chapter 3, this story is the story before the first and second part. Movie starts off with a teenager Quinn. She has been living with her dad, Sean, and her brother, Alex, since her mom, Lily's death. She yet feels the void of Lily in her life. She meets a retired demonologist, Elise, to contact Lily. The one we saw in the last two stories helped Josh Lambert, but Elise says that she doesn't do that anymore, yet she invites her in. Quinn says that she feels as if Lily is always around her. Many times, she sensed someone's presence. Once she had put her diary somewhere and she found it somewhere else. Elise goes emotional at her love for Lily. She agrees and contacts the soul's world, but she contacts a dark soul unintentionally. She gets scared and comes back. Elise says that the other souls hear it too when you contact the soul, and an evil soul can come out. That's why she forbids Quinn from contacting Lily herself. Back home, Quinn is preparing for her audition in acting school. Sean asks her to get Alex ready. She gets angry over it. She leaves her home and meets her neighbor Hector. They both like each other. They're both heading outside. They meet an old couple, Harry and Grace. Grace is always talking about weird stuff, and so they leave from there in a hurry. Quinn at her audition sees someone waving at her from a distance. Quinn tries to focus on her audition but yet fails by forgetting the lines. She tells Maggie about it, that it's all because of Sean. Maggie goes to take her car when Quinn again sees that man waving at her. She's looking at him when a car hits her from behind. Quinn faints and she's taken to the hospital. When subconscious, Quinn senses herself in a dark place. Also, she sees that same man wearing a mask who had caused that accident. And Quinn comes back and senses. She gets to know that both her legs are fractured. She can't walk and she spends 3 weeks in the hospital. She gets discharged and Sean takes her back. He leaves Quinn with Grace and goes to talk to Harry. Grace says that she had heard the voice of a man who can't breathe. He's calling Quinn and he's yet present there. It is the same man that's coming in Quinn's visions. Quinn doesn't focus on her talks and Sean has taken her home. Everyone hosted a party for her there. She then goes to her room to rest. While sleeping, the bell that Sean had left rings itself. She wakes up and hears someone walking into her flat. Sean comes in at bell's sound. Quinn sends him back and goes to sleep, whereas that man is standing just behind her. Elise is sleeping, taking the sweater off her dead husband. She sees something in her dream and writes it down like she's used to, but she only writes Quinn's name there. Quinn spends the next whole day alone and knocks at the wall behind her out of boredom. Hector's flat is there and she receives knocks in reply. She texts Hector and gets to know that Hector is not even at home. She gets scared and tries to sleep. She sees a hand coming from above. She screams in horror and gets up. The ceiling's cracked. Sean comes in, hearing Quinn's shrieks, and Quinn points at the ceiling. Sean takes the owner to the flat above them, but no one's living there. But there are some black footprints. They don't understand anything. The next day, Quinn tells Sean that she had gone to Elise to meet Lily. Also, she senses Lily around her. Sean says that nothing like that exists and they both fight over it. Elise thinks of helping Quinn and tries to contact Lily again. She hears a man breathing and follows it. The keys have disappeared from her neck and the door to her basement is opened with them. Also, black footprints are going into the basement. Elise follows them and she sees them tracing through the wall. A man then attacks Elise there. She hardly escapes him and decides that she'll not help Quinn. Quinn is alone at home, video chatting with Maggie. Maggie asks her if someone's standing beside her, but Quinn doesn't see anyone there. Quinn gets scared and hangs up. Then she sees that man coming towards her from the window. That man suddenly falls and Quinn bends to see him. He then thrusts her away. Windows and doors are shut and the lights are turned off. It gets near Quinn and Quinn is screaming loudly. Sean is back at home. He hears her scream and comes looking for her. Sean listens to everything Quinn says and Harry has come to meet him as well, because Grace has died. Quinn is fast asleep when she wakes up at the sound of someone walking. She gets under the sheets and when she pulls back, she finds herself standing near flat 514. She gets scared and tries to go back through the lift. Then that man shows up and thrusts her into flat 514. Quinn sees a girl there who doesn't have hands, feet, and face, and it is crawling towards Quinn. Quinn slams the floor and calls Sean out. Sean wakes up and reaches for Quinn. She shows him those black footprints that are going towards the window. When she peeks out of the window, that man starts pulling her. Sean hardly saves her. Then he goes to meet Elise to discuss Quinn's matter. Elise tells him that she doesn't do that anymore. She shares her story that once she had gone to meet Jack, but an evil spirit Parker came after her. That threatens her from doing that anymore. And she's waiting to kill Elise one day. Sean begs her to at least talk to her for once. Elise agrees and goes to see Quinn. Elise tells her that she has gone further. Also, she met that man who can't breathe, and now he's after Quinn. Elise gathers everyone and summons that man. She finds a girl's soul there. Elise asks her about that man, but she says nothing. Elise leaves her behind. She is in Quinn's flat, but she comes out of flat 514, where Parker is choking her. Elise hardly gets back into the real world and says that she can't help Quinn, because that woman would kill her, and then Elise leaves. Having no other choice, Alex shows Sean a video of ghost hunters, Tucker, and Specs. Sean calls them over and they put a camera over Quinn's head, so they can see everything happening at night. They're sitting in the living room when they see that Quinn is coming out of her room, but Quinn is not there. Then they see Quinn in closet. They see the closet and only the camera is lying there. Then Quinn is standing behind Tucker and she attacks everyone. She pulls off her plasters and calls out at Sean and then tries to slit her throat. But everyone ties her up before that. They see that man's eye in her mouth. That man possesses Quinn. Elise meets her friend Carl and shares her problems. He shows her a picture of Josh from a previous movie and says that the woman behind her is Parker. She's after Elise for helping Josh, and he suggests she help Quinn with her abilities, because she's more powerful than Parker, and Elise goes to Quinn's home. Sean is kicking Tucker and Specs out of the house because they lied, but Elise stops them because they might need their help. She sends Alex away and tells them that the souls in Further wish to get a man's body to live with them, but that man wants to keep souls with him in Further. That's why he had taken half of their soul during the accident. He'd take the other half as well if its first half didn't come back. Elise has to go there for that. Elise sets everything up where Specs is recording everything that she's saying. Elise again finds a girl's soul there. She used to live in Quinn's building, but the man had forced her to commit suicide. She wasn't able to escape from the man even after her suicide, because he had made her his pet and now he wants Quinn as his pet. That girl takes her to flat 541. Elise frees her soul and goes into that flat. She sees a man sitting there. She's looking at him when Parker attacks her. Elise remembers what Carl had said and thrusts her away. Then she sees that the man sitting is Jack. She gets so happy and Jack tries to convince her to slit her throat so they can live there forever. But she realizes that it is not Jack talking, and she hits him with the blade. She asks that man to come out and asks him about Quinn. Quinn's soul comes there crawling. Elise takes it and tries to run, but the man stops her. Yet she manages to take her to a room with the rest of the souls, hardly escaping that man. She comes back to the real world, but Quinn is yet there. Elise says that Quinn has to fight herself now. That man has caught Quinn's soul and she's getting complete there. Quinn is about to die, but everyone tries holding her and telling her to come back. But nothing is happening. Then Grace's soul contacts Elise and says that Lily has left a letter in Quinn's diary that she had to read on her graduation, but now Lily wants her to read that now. Elise reads that letter to Quinn, where Lily's soul asks Quinn to go back. Quinn wakes up and musters up her courage to take off that man's mask. He leaves Quinn and Quinn comes back into the real world. Elise tells her that Lily was there with her always. She doesn't need to find her anywhere because Lily would always be there. After solving the case, Elise takes Tucker and Specs with her, where they plan on working together to help people. And the movie ends with that. If you like the explanation, please do subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next part.